One of the most important and sometimes overlooked aspects about high-level fighting is a game plan. The difference between winning a fight in dominant fashion and losing the fight horribly can all come down to the game plan that you have going into a fight. With this in mind, I decided to formulate a game plan against one of my sparring partners and attempt to execute it in sparring against him. The first step in formulating a game plan would be obviously knowing who you are fighting. Of course, I have the luxury of knowing my opponent, having sparred with him before, and also having most of those sparring sessions on film. This is obviously best case scenario for formulating a game plan, but if you are fighting on the amateur scene, you will sometimes not even have footage of your opponent, which will most certainly diminish the amount of detail and precision that you can go into with a game plan. In situations like that, finding out your opponent's style and physicals will be your best bet. But if you are afforded some of the luxuries that I am, like video footage, let's get started. I begun with obviously watching the footage, and while watching, taking notes on potential counters I could see landing for myself. I noted some of his strengths and some of his weaknesses. This was slightly easier for me because of my first-hand experience with my training partner and already knowing some strengths and weaknesses without even having to watch the tape. But either way, I noted them down in a notebook, and this is what my notebook looks like. It starts with his physicals and stance, then goes on to what I titled the general section, where I go over his strengths and weaknesses. All this has to be a small point form information. This will make it easier to memorize and not overcomplicate things. Then I moved on to possible counters that I could land. Once again, just point form. Easy to digest information because once you are in a fight, it will be harder to remember a certain counter if you had made it too difficult in your note. Now, something else to note is that I had whipped this game plan together 2 weeks before the spar took place. Spent zero time drilling any of the counters. Ideally, you would have the game plan around 2 months before the fight. Focus your training sessions around that certain opponent and drilling some likely scenarios in both your pad work as well as your sparring. Drilling those counter shots, defending against his favorite attacks, etc. After that, I went into his common reactions and habits. Since we are both amateurs, some of our reactions and habits are big, glaring mistakes. A few of my training partners' main habits would be parrying punches with his lead hand. This can work on occasion, but obviously not technically correct, as it leaves you quite open for the right hand, as Tyron Woodley found out. Another one of his habits is when he is hurt to the body or the head, his poker face is not great. He shells up and faces away from punches. I've come up with some counters for this reaction, and now we shall get into my round by round game plan for this spar. In round 1, I want to come out bouncing in a karate stance, using mostly my jab out of both stances, feigning, going to the head and body, but all with my lead hand. My idea behind this is to sort of figure out if he has changed since I last sparred him, and to see if there is anything different that he is bringing to the table. In the second round, I plan on being more flat-footed and looking to trade slightly more. My stance inspiration for this round is UFC 205 Connor. Still some karate mixed in, but more flat-footed and willing to slip and counter in the pocket. Focusing on countering the jab with the right hand over the top, and looking to start my linear switch while he shells up. For the third and final round, I want to walk him down with a high guard out of southpaw and rip his body with big nasty hooks. Prioritizing attacking the body and landing tight boxing combos in close, with the eventual goal of finishing him in the third round with a body shot. Let's see how this goes.
Yes, I'm wearing my hoodie over these big ass headphones, but either way, let's get started. You see, I'm jerseyless. Bold take. We start the round, and I'm bouncing in and out, karate stance, whoop, whoop, trying to feint the jab. And you see already he's making that error of lead hand parrying that I had studied. He did it once, or that might have been twice, 3 times. He's very heavy on the lead hand parry, so I was noticing that. But in this first round, I only wanted to throw jabs to the body. I wanted to let him work and see if I could get any leads on him. You can see him lunging in with wide shots, ducking, very similar to how he was in the older footage. So I'm picking up on that and seeing, okay, my plan to uppercut, there I go to the body. There's another jab. There I go for the little Michael Venom Page 1-2 where you just like leave your feet. There's his right hook that we were game planning for. And this was, I think, the first time I saw it, that wide thumb up right hook that he overextends on most of the time. We talked about it after, and he said he wasn't looking to throw it that much. He was looking to throw it more straight. So good on him for thinking of that. But there are those lead hand parries again. I get that basically every time I feint a jab. See what I mean? He's like parrying it to the body. Whoop. Pump fake into the jab, jab again, And then we get into the second round, and this is where I wanted to adopt that Connor UFC 205 stance. See, I started southpaw, but see, not a lot of bouncing from me, but I still wanted a wide enough stance, kind of karate-like. Hands still down by my waist, but looking to counter a little more off of his punches. There he lands a nice body shot uppercut. Like I said, one of his strengths is he does go to the body good. There again, 2 shots back to back to the body, very nice by Sam. There I land a left hook on the counter, a right hand on the counter. I wanted to look for my overhand right over top of his jab. There's another left hook, but I was finding the left hook a little bit easier to counter with. But you see here, he throws the jab. I look for that overhand over the top. I'm just out of range. Comes back, counter, counter, uppercut. And there is the first time I look for the linear switch. But he doesn't go into the full shell. But still from southpaw, or from orthodox into southpaw, sorry. I look to establish my jab. It's the first time I go to the body, I think, other than a few body jabs in the first round. And it immediately got a grunt. I don't know if you guys hear that. And there is a big check left hook again. I wasn't game planning for the check left hook as much, only to the body after his right hook. But when he throws me 3 straight little feelers, that screenshot, I'm going to attack with the left hook. And I don't know what he was going for. He said he wanted to draw out a reaction from me, and he did. But he knew it was coming, couldn't do anything about it. I think that's what he said in the video. There I look for the linear into southpaw. I land a good little right hook. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Double jab. I'm just a little bit out of range. I look uppercut. It's not there. Go for the right hook. I slip inside. Try to rip the body huge. That's a huge arm punch. And my hands are like down by my side. I don't think this is how I usually spar. My hands aren't like glued to my face. I'm kind of like this most of the time, but I feel like when I punch, I should be having that backhand up. I think most of the time I do, but I don't know. I feel pretty comfortable here. Landing the jab. Nasty camera work. There, I try to counter the jab again. Over the top, but he's doing a good job at not overextending with his jab. Nice body shot. I like how he doubles up to the body. There, I come with the right hand over the top. Good body shot, uppercut. Oh, and there's the first time he started doing that shell that I was talking about. When I hit him with a good uppercut, I'll just rewind it a little bit. There, I hit him with a nice little overhand. He's still ripping the body, but see how he's down, postured, looking down, not looking where he's punching. So I land the uppercut. He probably doesn't see it coming because he's looking at the ground. I'm sure he has an idea that some punch is coming. Come back with the uppercut. I look to switch, go to the body. But yeah, see how he turns away. That's the first sign that I know some of the body shots or headshots are getting to him. And Sam goes jerseyless. Good on him. I look to counter over the top, jab. But yeah, you see immediately I come out, hands high, much different stance. In southpaw, just walking forward because I've got a body shot to go get. This is not how I would usually spar Sam. Sometimes it makes it a little fun. See, he lands a little more when I'm very flat-footed and just with a high guard. I really don't like the high guard. But here I start in orthodox, land the right hand, switch into southpaw, land the left. He's jabbing well as he's backing up. It's a good job by him pumping his jab, and there he walks into range a little bit. And then he starts going a little harder. I land a left. Good body shot there, really good. He starts putting the pressure on, and I always answer with one shot. Here goes again. I counter. Oh, and then I go to the body with a combination after he combos on me. Let's see it again. There's a nice one too by him, and to the body, back to the head, really nice. So he jabs, I counter with a right hook, counter uppercut, right hook, body, body, body. Yeah, this round I definitely wanted to go to the body. He goes to the body well there, but I'm starting to see this stance that I had game plan for, where he's really side on and he's looking down and kind of punching like that, like just not looking where he's punching, just hoping to throw something to kind of get me off of him. So this is where I start digging to the body. He lands a nice little left hand up top. Good job by him mixing it up to both the body and the head. That was a really nice body shot. Look at this body shot. There, he lands a nice right hand. Watch, boom, boom. I had no guard there. Really clean. Because he threw a jab to the head, or a little slappy left hook, and boom, that's all right hand, right to the gut. And you can see I dropped my guard. I felt that one a little bit, and that's why I have a smile on my face. Walk forward, counter right hook. Yeah, my left hand out of southpaw is not great. I definitely want to work on my southpaw boxing for sure, and just my southpaw stance in general. My southpaw, when I'm in southpaw in kickboxing especially, I turn really karate side on, front leg side kick action. I want to have similar games from both stances so I can incorporate them and kind of do it seamlessly. But yeah, I like the heavy. I'm heavy on the counter right hook. There was ugly by me. Watch as I look to counter Sam. Sam jabs. Look at my chin straight up in the air, and Sam is an inch away from clipping my mouth guard. Yeah, that was pretty ugly by me. Counter right. Gotta tuck my chin a little bit more. Uppercut. Here. Body. And he felt that one for sure. Southpaw. I'm starting to feel that he might have punched himself out a little bit there. Jab, headshot. I'm trying to find that liver because I can't find it as effectively out of southpaw, so he switches kind of for me there. Then I'm in southpaw, double jab, uppercut, and then I find the liver shot to get him. Pretty good. Yeah, that's basically it for the fight. You can see how I was executing my game plan about my stances and my shots that I wanted to focus on throughout the fight. My jabs early and my bouncy karate switch stance in round 1, and then moving on into round 2 a little more flat-footed but still wide karate, hands down, looking to counter, looking to go to the body a little bit more. And then in the third round, finally putting my high guard up, walking forward, southpaw boxing combinations. They're not as crisp as I'd like them to be for sure, so we'll work on that. But I wanted crisp southpaw boxing combinations and eventually stopping them with a body shot, and I did. So all around pretty successful. Thank you for Sam for sparring with me after not sparring at all for like a year damn near, but he's been in the gym. Shout out. Yeah, thank you for watching, and peace.